Good morning and welcome back. Today is January 8th, Monday, and we are starting our day off at the solicitor's office pulling a jury for a murder case that should start today and probably will take until about Wednesday, maybe Thursday before it gets in front of the jury or goes to the jury. But as always, we won't talk about that today. But next week, I'll let you know how that went, whether the defendant was convicted or acquitted. Either way, we'll talk about it and let you know sort of how it went. I don't want to ever do anything and you guys see something and also be on the jury that would taint the defendant's rights to a fair trial. So that's why we don't go through that. I do have some really good news for you. I ran into SLED Chief Mark Keel at the end of December, and he said, "Jimmy, I don't know what you guys are doing in Horry and Georgetown, but whatever it is, keep it up, because the figures, they do a crime report every year, and the figures are just astounding. I know it may not feel like it at times, but we are really having a lot of success locally with what our numbers dropping. In fact, in every category except for sexual battery, every other category we are at or below the state average. And I'm going to put these up there for you, but you can see this is a chart. The darker color would represent Horry and Georgetown counties, and the one that I told you we're a little bit behind is here in sexual battery, but it is dropping. That's another thing. In every category we are dropping, and I'll go through just a few reasons that I think that might be happening at the end of this. But let me hit you up with some highlights, and I'm going to post every bit of this for you to review and make sure Jimmy's not storying to you. I'm not. If anybody is, it's Mark. Mark Keel is the one that put these numbers together. And this also is up to date as of December 31st, 2022. Our 2023 numbers he'll be working on this year. We're always right at a year behind on these. Violent crime for Horry and Georgetown counties is down 5.4% from 2021 to 2022, and that is the second consecutive drop in violent crime numbers. Violent crime is also broken down into many different categories, one of which, the big one of which, is murder, and murder is down 11.1% from 2021 to 2022 in Horry and Georgetown counties. Even the overall number of murderers decreased by 7%. Now, why this is important is all of these numbers are based on per 10,000, just like they do the FBI reports. The state reports are the same. So we'll talk about that in a bit, but not only are the number of murders, percentage of murder down 11%, but the number is down 7%. And I'll tell you why that is in a second. You know, I showed you the one place we were above the state average was sexual battery. Of course, that's a violent crime. It wouldn't be unusual for our area containing Myrtle Beach and Pawleys Island and all of the beaches, North Myrtle, to be a little over the state average because there's less drinking, less to get into in Clarendon, less to get into in Sumter. So us having all of these tourists, it may push that number up a little bit. But what is important about the sexual battery is that we are down almost 13% from the year before. 12.8% we're down in sexual battery, and just above the state average in sexual battery. We're down 20%, 19.9% from 2021 to 2022 in robbery. So that is part of a 15-year trend downward, and that is Horry and Georgetown are actually below the state average there. In aggravated assault, it's 2% down from 2021 to 22, and that is a consecutive time that figure has dropped. 11% in like property crime stuff. That is a lot of different thefts, but we're down 11% in property crime, and that is part of an 8-year decrease. So from 2015 until 2022, that has continuously dropped, and now we're under the state average for property crime. Under property crime, you'll see B&E Auto. We're down 21% in B&E Auto. That's a 12-year drop. We're under the state average here. Motor vehicle thefts, we're down 22% from 2021 to 2022. And larcenies, we're down 8% from 21 to 2022. That's just theft, shoplifting, petty theft, all of those things where somebody would steal a small amount or a larger amount. Larceny is down 8%. Arson is down 14% from 2021 to 2022 for our area. And believe it or not, the one that I am probably, I've told you that we've at least plateaued. But in drug offenses, we're down 1.5%. So not as much of a drop off, but I really expected that to continue to go up. Weapons charges were down 4% from 2021 to 2022, and that's the third consecutive drop. So a lot of really good figures. Here's a couple of reasons why I believe that we are having significant decreases across the board. I would have been willing to accept any one of those decreases, but to be below the state average in all but one and to be dropping in all of them is just incredible to me. Here's why, some reasons that I think that could be happening. I told you all of these figures are based on per 10,000, just like the FBI stats. Well, we've had a massive influx of people into Horry and Georgetown County, people that are moving, new neighbors that call Horry and Georgetown counties home. And I think that a lot of our neighbors that are coming in are not those that would commit crimes. So in a way, that is watering down those numbers. If you got 10% really bad people, which it is not that much, but 10% really bad people, then you double your population and all of the new people are not bad people, then that 10% drops, just like a stock would, it drops by half. So now it's down to 5%. Some of that is going on. Another thing that I think is really good, and I can't take credit for this, but my people are going out just like this week, starting every week with a murder trial, a drug. We took 30 drug dealers off the streets at the very end of December. Well, what that does is, I've always told you guys that at least a very small part of our population is overachievers. That same guy that commits the crime over and over and over again, sometimes it's not murder, sometimes it's, most of the time it's drugs or it's, something less than murder. Our ability to take that person off the street, just a few of them, send them to either state or federal prison with our U.S. attorneys in-house, has made a rapid decrease in all of these numbers. We've gotten rid of the bad actors that constantly are getting in trouble. We've sent those guys away. Finally, with regards to property crimes, I think that the switch from in the 90s and 2000s, everybody was on crack cocaine or cocaine. Fentanyl and heroin, I can't say this enough, but it's so deadly that a lot of our people that would be involved in the drug charges and the theft to support the drug habits, a lot of those guys are dying off at very rapid rates. It is certainly an insurable risk if you are using opioids that you're not going to live as long as your counterparts may. even, I mean, it does tremendous harm to the body, but it also does a lot of harm if you get that fentanyl. So those are some of the reasons that may play into these numbers, but regardless of what it is, the numbers are really, really good. It's certainly got SLED impressed, and we're going to continue on. It's January, but we're going to use this whole year to really try to just knock it out of the park and get rid of some of these other ones, and hopefully keep on the decline on all of these categories. You know, we've sort of broke the code, so now what we're going to try to do is just continue driving that point home. And a big part of that, and then I'll hush, but a big part of that is for juveniles, this group that is coming along that are being told by the gang leaders, if you get in trouble, you're only going to pull a couple of years at juvie. You need to check your geography. This is not the place for that. If you'll look on our website, you'll see again, I back every bit of this up. The last 3 people that went down were teenagers, and they went for 20 and 30 and 40 years. So we wave people up. We go in front of the court and we say, we're not going to put up with it here. So this is not the place to do that sort of activity. It's not going to be 18 months or 2 years. It's going to be 30, 40, 50 years. And that means that you're going to give away your 20s, your 30s, and your 40s. When other people are getting married or other people are having kids, you're going to give that away, and at best you're going to get out when you're my age. So you don't want to do that. Anyway, a lot of good news. These figures will be up, so you can fact check me. And have a great week, and we will see you Monday with an update.